After which, the referee will signal the shot comes into their ear to indicate that the start of the play is being delayed. The VAR may suggest a review, but only the referee can initiate the review by signaling the game on the TV screen. The referee explains the final decision.
Hello and welcome to the Yassin bin Hamad Stadium in Doha for a crucial final game in the western region of the AFC Champions League Elite League phase. It's certainly crucial for the team in 8th place, the host Al Sadd. They know they need a point to progress to the next stage. Al Ittihad, the visitors, already are through, but would like to improve their final position. They could finish as high as 3rd with another victory. And they're certainly in form, having won their last game 7-0 last week against Al Gharafa. So Al Ittihad arriving here with plenty of confidence, and Al Sadd the same. They're on a great run of the home team, having won the last 2 in a row. That has given them now every chance of progressing into the knockout stages, whereas just a few weeks ago that seemed improbable. But Al Sadd in their last 2 games, getting a 4-2 win at home against Shabab Al Ahli, and then on the road last week a 2-0 victory over Tractor. So that's put them in an excellent position. They've got to finish the job today. Al Sadd go into this game knowing their fate is in their own hands. They may go through even if they lose, because that would depend then on the outcome of the other remaining game in this western region, which is kicking off at the same time. Al Gharafa, currently 2 points behind Al Sadd, would overtake them if they win and Al Sadd lose. So to simplify, Al Sadd with a draw or a win, they're through. With a defeat, they have to hope that Al Gharafa do not win in their game at home against Tractor. For Al Ittihad, it's just about building more momentum and more confidence as the players gather in the tunnel. It was a turbulent January for Al Ittihad, with the departure of 2 high-profile stars, N'Golo Kante and Karim Benzema, both leaving. But they got back onto the playing field, and how they enjoyed it last week in that 7-0 romp against Al Gharafa. And I have to say, they could have won by 10. They were so dominant. A really spectacular performance, featuring a debut goal for Benzema's replacement, Youssouf En-Nesyri, the Moroccan international,
Ladies and gentlemen,
who is in the lineup again today to try to do more damage to the hopes of Al Sadd. The players ready to head out into the Yassin bin Hamad Stadium. A crucial game for Al Sadd, and an opportunity for Al Ittihad to build further momentum. So the players are led out by our referee, Yusuke Araki from Japan. Captains Fabinho, and one of the most recognizable and greatest players in Asia, Akram Afif, captaining Al Sadd. He hopes not for the last time in this edition of the AFC Champions League Elite. They've got to pick up a point or more today. Roberto Firmino will certainly be playing a key role with the creation of Afif against this very strong Al Ittihad side. Well, a warm embrace between the two coaches. They know each other extremely well, and there's a sub-plot there that we'll get into later on between Roberto Mancini and Sergio Conceição. For now, we'll focus on the players as they go through the pre-game salutations. Al Sadd have rescued their campaign after starting off dreadfully. 2 draws and then 3 losses in the first 5 games, but 2 consecutive victories and only 1 change for Roberto Mancini from the team that beat Tractor last week. That is in midfield, where Agustin Soria, the Uruguayan, comes in to replace Mohamed Camara, who is unavailable today. The forward line is formidable. Firmino supporting Rafa Mujica. 4 goals for him already in this competition, with the width from Akram Afif and Giovanni Enrique. Araki Yusuke is our referee. He'll be assisted from the VAR booth by Junpai Ida. And the captains, 2 iconic figures. Swift to get the pre-match necessaries done and dusted. Fabinho visiting against Akram Afif, and it's Fabinho leading this team, which has just 1 change from that 7-0 demolition job of Al Gharafa last week, and that is Stefan Keller, the recent arrival, taking his first start in defence, with Moussa Diaby missing out today. As always, Al Ittihad well supported. Plenty of fans have travelled to cheer on their favourites, and gratefully receiving that support before kick-off. A new look forward line with Youssef En-Nesyri making just his 2nd appearance, supported by Roger Fernandez, who scored 2 last week from the left wing, and Houssam Aouar, who got a hat-trick in spectacular style. And we're ready for action. Al Sadd against Al Ittihad. So plenty of noise and colour inside the Yassin bin Hamad Stadium, as the referee Araki Yusuke makes his final checks. It'll be Al Sadd to get us underway. Al Sadd then get us moving. Immediately Claudinho sending the ball to the right-hand side, but it's cut out. And Al Ittihad try to advance down the left. It's a decent run as well from Mario Mitai, trying to feed Youssef En-Nesyri. Broken up by Al Sadd, and a fast-paced start here. It's not at all the case that the teams are settling into the game. They're both going full throttle in the opening seconds. And this Mohamed Al-Shanketi had a great game last week. 3 assists in that victory over Al Gharafa. Now the foul committed by Rafa Mujica. There is Roberto Mancini, the esteemed coach of Al Sadd, going up against one of his former teammates, Sergio Conceição. They spent a couple of seasons together between 1998 and 2000 with Lazio, and they enjoyed enormous success as well. They won Serie A together, they won the UEFA Cup Winners' Cup and the Italian Cup and the UEFA Super Cup. So former teammates up against each other today. And this Al Ittihad attack breaks down. It's an offside flag. Roger Fernandez, the young Portuguese who started out on the right-hand side today, where he receives possession, teaming up with Mamadou Doumbia inside to Fabinho, who is caught. Another foul by Mujica. He was the centre forward for Al Sadd, but he's dropping back to help out defensively, although his version of helping out is committing free kicks. And so another set-piece opportunity to see if Al Ittihad can make more of this one. Houssam Aouar is over the ball. A hat-trick last week for him. Plays this one square for the shot, and it's hit well by Doumbia. And then good clearance by Pedro Correa. And that caught out the defence a little. They were expecting a cross from Aouar. Instead, just a simple short square pass. And Doumbia was free to unleash a powerful strike. Predrag Rajkovic sending it long. En-Nesyri can gather, just lays it off for Mitai. En-Nesyri continuing the run, and no foul as Pedro wins the ball. Then it's given away, all a bit scrappy, before falling for Doumbia. And now here's Roger, will want to cut inside onto his left foot. Roger Fernandez, double deflection. And tipped wide by Michal Barsham. It was going wide anyway. Here's Barsham's save a little earlier from the free kick. Not great goalkeeping because he pushed it right in front of him. Goalies are trained in those positions to push it wide of goal. But Sergio Conceição very happy with the way his team have got on the front foot in the opening 3 or 4 minutes here. Now the corner from Roger should be the goalkeeper's. Well, he could have caught that, Barsham. Punches away instead. Maybe just a quizzical look there from him, perhaps, to his teammates to say he wanted a bit more communication to know how much time he had to catch the ball. Now Ittihad really pressing well here from the opening kickoff. As Fabinho finds the pass for Hassan Kadesh. Now Danilo to Stefan Keller, who's starting for the first time. Came on as a sub last week, late on, against Al Gharafa. The Cameroonian on the ball again here, playing in the centre of defence alongside Danilo. It's a 3-man back line today, Kadesh the other. He will stride forward here. Chested down by Tarek, and now here's Akram Afif, his first touch. Pedro inside. Claudinho back to Pedro. Now looking for the run of Paulo Otavio down the left. Al Sadd settling into the game now, 5 minutes on the clock. This is the first real possession for Roberto Mancini's team. Been in post since November. Mancini, former Saudi Arabian national team manager, before that Italy, with whom he won the 2020 Euros. And here's a good challenge from Aouar, robbing Soria. Mitai giving it back to Aouar. That's sloppy from him. And Mujica nearly able to take it. Oh, and Afif trying to dispossess Stefan as well, but he just about gets away from it. Now it is given away though by Al-Shanketi. Sloppy stuff, and Claudinho can come forward. Akram Afif to the byline, cuts it back, what a chance, and a goal! It is Roberto Firmino. Inside 6 minutes, Al Sadd's first meaningful attack, and they take the lead. Firmino arriving in the perfect spot to latch onto the cutback from his captain. Afif, as always, prominent in the attacking play of Al Sadd. That's his 5th assist in this Champions League Elite campaign. And perhaps the most important There's check for offside. It looks like it's okay when the pass is released by Claudinho. And then Firmino, running in, was able to get there just ahead of Danilo. And the challenge of Kadesh as well coming too late. And there was nothing that Rajkovic could do. He got a glove to it. But it wasn't enough, and Firmino has his third goal of the season, barring a check for offside, which from the one replay we saw, although the angle wasn't perfect, it looked okay. Oh, but it's not. The hand is raised by the referee to signify offside, so that camera angle we saw was deceptive. As it looked to me as though Afif was onside, but the ruling from the VAR booth is otherwise, and it does not count. So, what a start here. Firmino's goal disallowed. And Al Sadd will have to try to not let that affect them mentally. They thought they had the big boost of an early goal, but they do not. Relief for Al Ittihad, as we see here how tight it was. The right boot of Akram Afif just beyond the line of the last defender. And it's particular relief for Al Shanketi, because it was his poor pass that gave the ball away. Now the previous pattern resumes with the visiting team on the run. Mitai looking for the cross. It comes out to Awar, who isn't lacking confidence after his hat-trick last week, but skies that one well over the top. Very difficult as it came up hip high. Just wanted it to bounce a little lower as it came through to him, the Algerian. 5 goals in 5 games for him. Long from Pedro, looking for the run of Mujica. Danilo is in position. And he can spin the clearance away, nodded down by Awar to Fabinho. He's got Doumbia alongside him, as always. Those two, a really solid double pivot in midfield for Al Ittihad. Stefan back to Rajkovic. Now Kadesh for Mitai. It is a switch to 3 at the back today from Al Ittihad. Last week in the win it was a 4. But today it's the 3 in the back line, which provides an extra man coming forward. Here's Al Shanketi into the area, to the byline, across goal, parried out and rifled home by Awar. What form he is in. A hat-trick last week and the opener here. And it was Al Shanketi who made so many dangerous runs down the right in that route last week, who does it again, surging into the area to send it across the face of goal. And there was Houssam Awar to open the scoring, and what a turnaround. Less than 5 minutes ago, Al Sadd thought they were in front, but instead the visitors are. Al Ittihad with a thunderbolt finish from Awar, his 6th goal of the campaign. It isn't a goal that Meshal Barsham will want to see too often. His attempt to deal with the cross here, the goalkeeper was not very good. Again, he pushed it right into the danger area. He'll think, I guess, that he had to get something on it because there were 2 Al Ittihad players behind him waiting for a tap-in. But all he could do was push it into the path of Awar. 6 goals for him now in the campaign. And that makes him the joint top scorer in the Champions League Elite, alongside Adil Bourbina. And this one will count. So unlike Firmino's hoped-for opener for Al Sadd. 5 minutes ago, ruled out for offside. This one stands. And Al Sadd have got to come from behind, or their fate will be out of their own hands. A reminder how things stand in this West Region League in the final game of the 8. At this stage, it's Al Sadd are in 8th place, top 8 go through into the knockout rounds, and Al Sadd are 8th, but if they lose today on 8 points, they could be overtaken by Al Garrafa, who currently have 6, would increase to 9 if they win. They are playing right now at home against Tractor. So Al Sadd, if they lose this one, will need Al Garrafa to slip up. We are going to have 2 Qatari teams in the knockout stages. The question is, which 2? Mitai here asked for forgiveness from the referee for his challenge on Tarek, which was really in the follow-through. Made a slight play on the ball, did Mitai, who's playing as the left wing-back today in this 3-4-3 approach from the visiting team. Here's the 3 at the back, all getting a touch. Stefan, the right of those, Danilo now in the middle, Kadesh on the left. Awar will drift back to support Fabinho and Doumbia, with Mitai and Roger in the wide positions, looking to team up with En-Nesyri. And look, again comes Al Shanketi. En-Nesyri in the middle. This time he's dispossessed by Otavio and in fact offside. But Al Shanketi runs down the right, such a feature for Al Ittihad. Under the management of Sergio Conceição. A player who knew all about that sort of thing. Conceição, a right winger himself, and very quick, great player during his long career with various Italian teams and the Portuguese national team. You will enjoy the work of Al Shanketi. That goal seems to have knocked Roberto Mancini's men. Seems to have knocked the coach. He was looking rather flustered. The good news for the home team is at least there's a long way to go. And here's a good challenge. Firmino winning it back. It's a 5-on-4 break. Claudinho looking for a thief. Stefan is there to break it up. Does so very calmly. And now Fabinho. And there could be a break here for Al Ittihad, because Al Sadd have got plenty of players committed forward. Roger goes inside to Doumbia. And now Awar, the goal scorer. Well, that opening goal for Al Ittihad hasn't quietened the home crowd. Still plenty of noise as Paulo Otavio commits the foul. Plenty of noise around the Yassin bin Hamad Stadium. And Al Sadd need that, the home fans, to stick with them, keep giving them energy, because they've got a big task on their hands now. And a tricky conundrum tactically as well, because obviously they have to chase the game, Al Sadd, but Al Ittihad so devastating on the counter-attack. They don't want to leave too many gaps behind them. Firmino outnumbered, loses out. Confidence on the ball of Al Ittihad is impressive. Swift one-touch passing, eventually opened up by Doumbia for Kadesh, and now Mitai, back to Kadesh. Fabinho pulling the strings as always. Mawar takes it off him. Seems like there's 20 players out there in yellow and black at the moment. Just controlling possession easily, very slick. Now Doumbia looking to send it through, and En-Nesyri through on goal to finish for the second for Al-Ittihad. Yusuf En-Nesyri with the nutmeg finish through the legs of Barsham. And the rampant visitors double their lead. What form they are in. 7-0 last week, 2-0 away from home inside 20 minutes today. Al-Ittihad have a new hero up front with Yusuf En-Nesyri. He's onside, that goal will stand. Paulo Otavio had just dropped back from the rest of his defensive line, the left back allowing En-Nesyri to run through. It was a lovely through ball as well. And En-Nesyri, well, he could pick left, right, middle. Went straight through the goalkeeper. And Al Sadd can't believe it. Just over 10 minutes ago, they thought they were 1 up. Then the goal was taken away for offside. And 2 in the space of 10 minutes for Al-Ittihad. And they're pretty happy with the state of play. He's not. And neither are the fans. I mentioned just 2 or 3 minutes ago how they were still making plenty of noise, the Al Sadd supporters. Now listen to it. It's silent. Can the home players lift their fans? Mojica flagged offside, so that's not going to help. Well, I'm not sure he was. Didn't really matter as the play was broken up anyway. There again is the goal. Lovely through ball from Doumbia. Perfect weight on it, that was the key. Allowed En-Nesyri just to get in behind it. Didn't even need to take a touch. He could just run onto it, get himself set, and stroke the ball home with his first touch. A lot of the Al Sadd fans, no doubt, are now checking their phones for news from elsewhere as Al Gharafa host Tractor. As En-Nesyri goes down but doesn't get a free kick. I can tell you that for now, in that other game, it remains goalless, Al Gharafa against Tractor. So that means that Al Sadd will be okay. They'll still be going through. A long way to go. And here's Afif, teaming up with Firmino, taken off him by his former Liverpool teammate, Fabinho. And now Roger opens it up for Awar. And this is the danger that I mentioned for Al Sadd of committing players forward. The cross is headed away as far as Doumbia, who's already had one fierce long-range shot repelled in this game. En-Nesyri takes over. And Al Sadd have got plenty of numbers back now. Mitai. Mitai receives it again from Fabinho. Really showing their class so far, Al-Ittihad. And here they go again on the attack. Roger will want to get it onto his left foot. Through powers Danilo with a very ambitious shot from 30-odd yards. He thinks it got a deflection. It should be a corner. Sure the replay gives any credibility to that argument. But just underlines, though, how comfortable Ittihad are at the moment. With one of the central defenders striding forward to shoot from long range. Now here's an attempted pass that was very misplaced and easily gathered by Rajkovic. Certainly not what Giovanni intended. Mitai flicks it inside, but Kadesh loses it. Here's Claudinho. On to Kuki. Soria. Carlo Ottavio. Claudinho. Ittihad in a good defensive shape, happy just to allow Al-Sadd to have it there. Defensive line looking to push up and constrict the space. And Nasiri thought he had half a chance there as it went to Kuki, but now Pedro finds Tarek, and it's going to be a throw-in. Soria. Afif. Ottavio down the line. Claudinho giving chase, and Stefan has to knock it out for a throw. Longer spell of possession for the home team, who have it now with Claudinho. That should be Al-Ittihad ball. Well defended by Stefan, 24-year-old, making his first start today in the competition after joining last month on loan from Limassol. And we're seeing a change already from Roberto Mancini. Now, no sign of this being an injury. So if that's the case, it's rather embarrassing for Giovanni, who barely past the midway point of the opening period is being replaced. And it's Anas who comes on to replace him. And it looks like there's a slight change. Tactically, Roberto Mancini seemed to be offering an apology there to Giovanni. Anas Abweni is a defender, so he's come on for the right winger. Well, he's going as a defensive midfielder. So a real change from Mancini, trying to change the flow of the game. Here he is, nearly losing it to Firmino straight away. It's Claudinho to Anas. So he's going to operate from the base of midfield, maybe giving a bit more protection to Claudinho and Soria. Perhaps a swap to a three at the back, we'll see. For now, here's Afif, it comes back to him, and he's able to find, nearly able to find Soria just beyond him. Keeps it in, and back now for Anas. Seen plenty of the ball since he came on, and the header down is on target from Firmino, but straight at Predrag Rajkovic. It still looks like it's a back four for the home team, but just adding another body in the centre of midfield. So Tarek will have the job of patrolling that right wing by himself before he had the support of Giovanni, sacrificing a bit of width for a bit more solidity in the middle. That's the idea anyway, but here's En Nasiri picking it up with space to run. And he can, and he does, and he keeps going. What a run! En-Nesyri, very close to a spectacular solo effort, picked it up in his own half, turned on the jets and just kept going. He had space, the defence backing away. He still had a lot to do, past one challenge and a second. And then it was actually Anas who made the desperate lunge at the end to put En-Nesyri off his shot. So Roberto Mancini could say, well, that was a good substitution, wasn't it? Would have been 3-0 probably if Anas hadn't been on the field there to help protect his defence. Even so, it is a corner. Played in by Doumbia and flashed wide across the face of goal by Kadesh. We might feel he could have done a bit better there, 6-7 yards out. Anas again. Afif going to hold off Stefan. Too clever with the reverse pass, and it's intercepted, and now that was an opportunity to send Roger through, but too heavy. He appreciated the intent. And more than 25 years ago, since Sergio Conceição and his opposite number today, Roberto Mancini, were teammates with Lazio. I'm sure back then, if he told them where they'd be at the start of 2026, they wouldn't have believed it, but their managerial careers have been impressive. As the cross comes in here to Mojica, stretching, couldn't make anything of it. Rafa Mojica, just beyond him. Nicely done by Mitai, very tidy player on the left-hand side. Doumbia carries it on, En-Nesyri, Roger, Alchonchetti. Roger wants it back, he will shift it onto his left foot. Triangles between these three, Doumbia again with Roger. En-Nesyri waiting, it's beyond him and beyond Awar as well. Patient build-up from Ittihad. Is this half a chance for Firmino a few minutes ago? The header easily gathered by Predrag Rajkovic. The Serbian goalkeeper who's appeared in every game for Ittihad. He, Mitai, Fabinho, the only ones who have. Here is Mitai for Awar, running on. Shows too much of it though. And it's well won back by Anas. And there's a nice ball from Soria for the run of Otavio. Now Akram Afif, if anyone can inspire Al Sadd, it's him. Afif cutting inside, wants to shoot, plays the pass instead. Firmino tried to give it back, but it was too heavy. And again, the counter-attack could be on for Ittihad. Alchonchetti challenged by Otavio. Just past the half-hour point in the Yassin bin Hamad Stadium, where it has been a one-way traffic so far from the visitors, Ittihad. 2 goals to the good. Depending on how track to get on in the game taking place now against Al Gharafa, Ittihad could finish as high as 3rd in the group. Currently in 5th and can't finish any lower than that. Roger picks it up. More comfortable possession and threat with it as well, as Awar receives on the left. Looks inside for En-Nesyri. Fabinho. It's been a disappointing domestic campaign for Al-Ittihad. We're only 6th in the Saudi Championship, having won the league and cup double last season. What a rise from En-Nesyri. And now Roger spreads it out for Mitai. En-Nesyri is in the middle, wants an early cross. It's delivered towards him on own goal. A catastrophe for Pedro Correa. Puts it into his own net for a third Al-Ittihad goal. Only just past the half-hour mark. And it's not really surprising. Such is the dominance of Al-Ittihad. Roberto Mancini looks perplexed. We'll see whether there's any question of offside here. I don't think so. En-Nesyri managed to stay behind the ball. And as Mitai sent in a dangerous cross, Roro knew he had to deal with it, or try to. That isn't how he wanted to deal with it. A look of despair on his face as he slides to the ground after firing it past his own goalkeeper. Barsham, absolutely nothing he could do. Pedro Correa with the own goal. What a disastrous evening this is turning into for Al Sadd. Confirmation there was no offside against En-Nesyri when the cross came in. He managed to stay behind the ball from Mitai, who should get an assist for that. It was a good cross. Didn't find the target he wanted it to, but he'll take it. And that just was just as I was saying, how Al-Ittihad have had a pretty poor season overall, but they've got time to rescue it, and this is more like the team that won the domestic double last season, league and cup in Saudi Arabia. They are going to be a force in the knockout stages. Claudinho's gone down holding his face, claiming a foul from Doumbia. Was there much in this? That wasn't the incident, but instead seeing some clever skill. Now this is where the arm was raised, was it? I'm not sure there was much in that. Ittihad did get a win in their last domestic game as well. 2-1 at the weekend against Al Fayha. So after a really poor run of form through a rather disruptive January when Karim Benzema left the club and they lost 3 games out of 6, they're back. A long-range shot fired in here, very hopefully and well wide. Pedro trying to atone for what he did at the other end. But Roberto Mancini, all his experience and know-how needed now to give Al Sadd any chance of rescuing something here. Otherwise, they're just going to be hoping that Al Gharafa lose. Afif has swapped flanks. He's over on the right now. Anas helped on for Claudinho. Soria. Tarek for Afif. Nutmeg pass is a good one. Cross is good as well, and it's laid off. What an opportunity! Soria over the top. Oh, Al Sadd needed that. Give themselves a lifeline. It was well worked. Firmino with the clever pass, just flicking it into the stride of young Agustin Soria, the Uruguayan, blazing it over the bar. Can they build on that though? Here's Claudinho towards the edge of the area. Mujica turning. Could have given it to Afif a little earlier. I think the captain signalling that as well. He was frustrated not to receive it there. Long-range shot taken on, and it's hit well by Huki. But Rajkovic, very safe pair of hands. Very rare that he's beaten from that kind of range. But another attack now. Al Sadd coming forward in waves. They need it to count though. They need a goal before half-time, you feel, to change the momentum of the game. Afif to Claudinho. Back heel for Mujica. Afif, Firmino onto his right foot to shoot, and it's deflected in by Mujica. Instinctive effort, and they have got that goal they needed. Rafa Mujica. And Al Sadd will feel they are right back in it. Firmino, I'm sure, was shooting after a very slick build-up, excellent quick passing around the edge of the area. Firmino here setting himself onto his right foot to shoot. Turned in by Mujica, but was he offside? It's going to be close. I don't think Firmino's shot would have gone in without the intervention of Mujica. Rajkovic seemed well placed to save it, but Mujica's intervention could come at the cost of a delayed flag for offside. For the second time, Al Sadd. They've already had one ruled out, but no, this one is confirmed. So, desperately needed goal for Al Sadd. And it comes at the end of, by far, their best spell of the game, a run of pressure. Soria probably should have scored a couple of minutes earlier. What an entertaining first half it has been. Action-packed. 4 goals and another disallowed. Here's Doumbia with an excellent turn. Then took too long and gives it away to Firmino. Anas to Afif on the run, trying to get it back. Mujica wants another. Saved by Rajkovic. Firmino following up, chips it. Scrambled away by Danilo. And then a foul by Anas will allow Al Ittihad to settle it down at a time they really need to. They are on the ropes at the moment. This effort from Mujica wasn't the most powerful, but it was certainly accurate, heading towards that bottom corner before Rajkovic got there. And then a really tantalising ball across the face of goal, clipped up by Firmino. Very easily could have led to a second goal for Al Sadd. We don't want this first half to end. 5 minutes of it to play. But here they come again. Afif. Is that a foul by Mitai? No. And the referee is being consistent. He's allowing the little contact, small incidents to go. It's a game that's really flowed along well, and part of that is credit to the ref. Good job by Araki Yusuke. As long as he's consistent, the players know where they stand with him and won't expect free kicks for that kind of incidental contact. Now it's looking long for Mujica. Headed away by Kadesh, but not very far. Afif, 3 in the middle. Just has to rebalance here. Able to find the pass back. Helped on by Otavio. They claim a handball, but Rajkovic acrobatically scampers along his goal line and is able to keep it in. What a turnaround it's been in the last 10 minutes. Before then, Al Ittihad was so comfortable in possession. were strolling around the field without a care in the world, but now they just can't get hold of it. And when they do, they can't keep it. Firmino into Otavio on the run, fouled surely. This one, the referee will blow for. As Stefan, yeah, he came away with the ball, but he bundled the man over to do so. Maybe Otavio was looking for it, invited the contact, but there is the confirmation that Mojica was just onside when Firmino drilled it in, so the Spaniard could celebrate his 5th goal. If he gets another, he'll be level with Awar. He's a joint top goal scorer in the Champions League Elite. He won't be on this free kick though, as Rajkovic orders his wall. Surely it's going to be a shot from Afif. One of the heroes of Asian football, an icon for Al Sadd. The captain instead crosses to the far post. It's helped back down by Firmino, but a miss hit. And harmlessly behind for a goal kick. And Firmino will be a bit disappointed he didn't make more of that. It was well disguised because I think everyone was expecting a shot from Afif. Rajkovic is told to get on with it by the referee, sensing that the goalkeeper is playing for half-time, which Al Ittihad would love to hear now, because the last 10 minutes or so have been a real struggle for them. Claudinho helps it on to Mojica. He was trying to hold it up and he was being pulled back. Roberto Mancini's men have really stepped up their tempo. The ball is circulating at a more rapid rate. And this man has been a lot more involved. Afif on the run again. Great cross! Firmino can't quite get there. What a delivery though from Akram Afif. Perfect angle to put it between the defence and the goalkeeper. And Firmino just needed to be half a yard quicker. If he was 24 instead of 34, he would have got on the end of this. But all he could do was get his studs on it. Agonisingly close again for Al Sadd. It will look to come again now. The header won by Soria, helped on by Mojica to Afif. Afif firing over the top as we reach the 45-minute mark. And at the moment, a goal for Al Sadd, another goal, looks just a matter of time. If it keeps going like this, they will score soon. Question is, will there be enough time before the half-time whistle? Well, there's 4 more to play. And Al Ittihad just can't keep it. Soria heads down to Afif. Good challenge by Kadesh. But one back. Firmino takes on. Rides a couple of challenges. Plays it on to Otavio. 3 in the middle. Decent cross. Mojica attacking it. Comes out to the edge of the area. It's Tarek for Afif. And Roro tries another shot. He is desperate to even up his own goal. That's 2 he's blazed well off target now. But it was another promising attack. Hard to keep up with all the chances that Al Sadd have had. Sergio Conceição must be desperate to get his players into the dressing room and reorganize them, calm them down, and maybe give them a kick up the backside to liven them up a bit. And he's something, because they're being hammered here at the moment despite being 3-1 up. Afif, another ball ready to come into the middle. He delays it though, and he had a chance to play it. A rare bad decision from the captain, but a dangerous ball back that Danilo has to deal with. Up towards En-Nesyri, beaten in the air by Huki, but out for the throw, which Al Ittihad will be in absolutely no hurry to take. Now there's a problem here for En-Nesyri on the halfway line. Now, this was the opening goal. Feels like a very long time ago. There's so much happening in this game. There was the second from En-Nesyri. That was before 20 minutes had been played. Then an own goal by Pedro, putting Matai's cross through his own net before Al-Sadd pulled one back. As Firmino's attempted shot was diverted in by the quick reactions of Rafa Mujica. So 3-1. But Al-Sadd will feel, considering the way the last 15 minutes have been played, that they should be maybe even on level terms. They've had 11 shots in this first half, which is drawing to a close now, to Al Ittihad's relief. They will have possession and they'll try to just keep it for the next 15 seconds or so. Kadesh, back to Danilo. Stefan, this is the first time in a while that Al Ittihad have been able to string a few passes together. Al-Sadd perhaps waiting for half-time now, but En-Nesyri has other ideas. He's dispossessed though by Anas, and there is the whistle to bring to an end a hugely entertaining and eventful first half, which saw Roberto Firmino score early on, but it was disallowed for offside. And then Al Ittihad raced into a 3-goal lead, with the opener coming from Awar. En-Nesyri doubled it up before 20 minutes was up for an own goal from Pedro Miguel after a cross from that man Mario Matai. But the action wasn't done, and still isn't, because Roberto Mancini's got a yellow card for arguing with the referee, having seen his side pull one back through Rafa Mujica. A thriller at the break is Al-Sadd 1, Al Ittihad 3. Welcome back to the Yassin bin Hamad Stadium for the second half of this final game in the league phase of the Champions League Elite. In the Western region, Al Sadd needing a point to be sure of going through against Al Ittihad, who have already made it to the knockout stage. Al Sadd at the moment trailing by 2. News elsewhere is good for them because Al Gharafa are still goalless with Tractor, so they would still go through at the moment even with a defeat, but they certainly can't rely on that. And they need to stop that man in the second half. Houssam Awar got the opener today after a hat-trick last week. And we're ready for the second half. Can Al Sadd mount a major comeback? Well, no more changes at the break. There was one during the first half, just over the 20-minute mark, when Roberto Mancini took the unusual step of a tactical substitution, but it certainly helped his team. The introduction of Anas into the midfield, strengthening up Al Sadd and allowing them to launch their assault towards the end of the first half that led to one goal, could easily have been more. And they'll look to continue exactly where they left off at the end of the first half. But it's Al Ittihad with the first possession. Mamadou Doumbia striding forward. Finds Al Shanketi. His cross is guided away by Huki. There's Julian Lopetegui, experienced coach, watching on. Former Spain national team coach, now in charge of the Qatar national team, of course. As Al Shanketi sends in another cross, and Mitai meets it. It needed to be blocked with a fair amount of pain for Soria. I think this was the power of the ball hitting him. Hit by Mitai, was going wide, straight into the ankle of Soria. And an early corner in this second half to be taken by Doumbia. They'll go behind for another corner after Firmino meets it. Al Sadd haven't been able to pick up where they left off at the moment. It's Al Ittihad enjoying the better of the early stages of the second half, and they could have had a goal. Turned just wide at the near post after the cross from Doumbia. Danilo was there and just got a bit too much on it. A slightly fainter touch. It would have gone between the posts and been very hard for Barsham to stop. So they've survived a big scare, Al Sadd. Can they now get their way back into this game? They haven't really started in the second half yet. Interesting to see they've persisted with Afif down the right as he ended the first half, and here he is, picking it up with Danilo in front of him. Back to Pedro, who mishits his cross straight at Rajkovic. It would be a surprise if there aren't more goals in this second half, because Al Sadd have got to go for it. They need to score twice. They might as well lose 5-1 as 3-1. And now Ittihad can certainly pick them off on the break. And here's Roger, who's been quiet so far today, the young Portuguese. But if he's given opportunities to roam down the right on the counter-attack, he won't stay quiet. nice pass for Awar, who threads it on for En-Nesyri. It's onside for now, looking for Roger, who finds the side netting. I think the flag has gone up now. Always looked tight against En-Nesyri. There, just going a fraction too early. Well, the pass coming too late, put it the other way. Roger showing his threat. And a sign of what Al Sadd have to be careful about. If they push high up the field, as really they have to. Especially the longer the game goes on at 3-1 down, the more risks they're going to have to take. It's Tarek for Pedro. Otavio whips in the cross. It's met by the head of Mojica, getting in between the defenders and forcing Rajkovic into the save. Mojica, the scorer in the first half. Rajkovic, I don't think, will be pleased with how he snaked between two defenders to win the header. Soria back to Anas. And Claudinho. Yeah, the midfield trio for Al Sadd, who've really helped their team get control of the game since the half-hour mark, really since they fell 3 behind. Better late than never. Now here's Roger. Shouldered off the ball fairly by Otavio. Anas for Soria. Otavio. It's Claudinho outside him. He gets going down the left. Claudinho on the run. Into the area. To the byline. Cuts it back. Headed out to the edge of the box. And it's fired in, but not very convincingly. A bit of a miss hit, really, from Tarek Salman. Really scuffed it, and it was spinning for a comfortable save for Rajkovic. It's going wide anyway, in fact, but another threat. Otavio and Claudinho have offered real threat down that left-hand side, really ever since Afif moved over to the other flank. Now it's Roger picking it up again, though. The attacking nature of the game continues. El Shunketi. Deep cross looking for Mitai. Laid off for Awar. Mitai. Back for Awar. Mitai with an injection of pace to En-Nesyri, onto his left foot to shoot. Always work it onto his left when he can. The foul by Stefan. Going through the back of Mojica. We'll be keeping an eye on and you up to date with the progress in the other game in this group, Al Gharafa against Tractor. It is highly relevant. Game just a few miles away, Doha. And now it's taken on nicely. Falls out for Firmino. Does well, cuts it back, looking for man on the edge of the area. Instead, it's Claudinho trying to get back his own intercepted pass. Al Sadd want to resume the pattern of pressure that they were enjoying at the end of the first half. That's a good ball onto the chest of Otavio, who whips in the cross. It's behind Firmino and not quite into the stride of Mojica. But forward they come again. Again work to the left for Otavio. Claudinho. Joining the attack is Houki for a long-range shot, and I think Ittihad will be pretty happy with that if Al Sadd are reduced to 35-yard shots from their centre-backs. Roberto Mancini less than impressed. Probably no disrespect to Houki, but maybe the last player that Al Sadd would want to be shooting from any range, unless it's a header attacking a set piece. They'd like to work better opportunities than that, as they're looking to do here. Claudinho teases in the cross, it's a good ball. Cleared as far as Soria. Bounces back with a bit of fortune to Anas. Ittihad had settled very much onto the defensive, but that's a loose pass. And now En-Nesyri can run. Doumbia trying to send him through. Great awareness, though, from the goalkeeper, Barsham, coming way out of his area to deal with that and send Al Sadd forward again. 10 minutes into the second half at the Yassin bin Hamad Stadium, and forward come Al Sadd. Mujica, no free kick. Zalshunketi tries to clear it, but he's robbed by Mujica. Firmino in the middle, others on the edge, and it's into the arms of Rajkovic. Who might be busy in this second half. Mujica was trying to force it into Firmino when a cutback might have been a better option. Bit of possession now for Ittihad, who will have their threat. Absolutely. They'll need to be more precise than that, though, from Houssama Aouar, the scorer of their opener. Afif moving central. On the run and sliding it through. Firmino will try and get a shot away, and it's over the angle of the post and crossbar. Firmino trying to force it in inside that near post. Had a look over to the linesman as if to query whether he was offside, which he certainly wasn't. And they'll keep persisting, Roberto Mancini's men. Having opportunities. Still a long time to go. If they can score any time in the next 20 minutes, even 25 minutes, take it into the last 10 minutes, a goal down, then it would really set up a thrilling finale. Reminder, Al Sadd need a point to be sure of progressing. If they lose, they will need Al Gharafa to not win their game at the moment. That one with Tractor is goalless. En-Nesyri held off the ball, strong challenge by Pedro. Goes inside to Claudinho. Afif, he's changed his role again, he's still down that middle. Now that's going to be a yellow card for Fabinho, who seems unhappy with his teammates, wants a bit more energy from them. He's not complaining about the decision, there's no question about that being a yellow card. Smiles between him and the opposing captain. And clear foul by Fabinho. I think he wants more from his teammates. Afif wanted a yellow card and he got it. And he might fancy this free kick now. Houki also over it. On the left foot of Otavio. Certainly within shooting range. Looks like Houki might be the one who fancies it. If the captain allows. 4 in the wall, and it is going to be Houki, fires it into the wall. Now lofts it towards the right. Soria. Cross met by Fabinho. And Roger now can run away from Afif, but not from Otavio, who comes across with a good challenge. Theatrical rolls from Roger. Well, that's a good challenge. Arrived at the ball at the same time, and Otavio was stronger and says it was just a shoulder. The referee agrees as he continues his, maybe lenient, you could say, maybe that's the wrong word. Leniency suggests, implies a bit of criticism. I'm not being critical at all of the ref. He's done a really good job of letting the game flow. Maybe permissive, you could say. As Fabinho tries to slide it through to Mitai, but easily broken up. Doumbia, Al-Shanketi, back to Doumbia, who steps inside but gives it away, well anticipated. And that was again Anas who made that interception, and he really has improved the team since he was brought on after 20-odd minutes. An hour played now, still no addition to the half-time scoreline, but no doubt about which team has control of the game and looks the more likely to score. Al Sadd on top, pressing to halve the deficit. Although Al Ittihad might feel they're fairly comfortable at the moment, that they're soaking up the possession enjoyed by the hosts. Hacked away by Kardesh, picked up by En-Nesyri. Very sloppy from Doumbia, straight to Afif, who will run towards goal. Eventually crowded out. It falls to Awar. He gets it back from Mitai, looks for En-Nesyri, but quicker to it was Kuki. Here's Firmino. Well anticipated by Roger. And a nice bit of space found by Mitai, who sends it on to En-Nesyri. He's got Roger for company. Just has to hold it up. Goes down, and that was a foul by Pedro. Just making sure that En-Nesyri couldn't advance, getting his arm over his shoulder. Double change being made now by the visiting coach, Sergio Conceição. George Linikena, the Nigerian forward, will be coming on, and Awad Al-Nashri. En-Nesyri's work done for the day. Linikena will replace him. This was the main work done by En-Nesyri. The second goal of the game, an accomplished finish. His second goal in as many games in the Champions League Elite. Already a firm favourite with El Ittihad fans. Now, George Linikena will take his place for the final half hour, and it's Doumbia who goes off in midfield with Awad entering. Now, free kick won by En-Nesyri, played in by Awad towards the far post, and is that in? Was it over the line? It has been given. And it's Stefan who has forced it over the line despite the desperate attempts to clear. It will be reviewed, of course. Was this in? Roberto Mancini desperately hoping that a review will show the goal line clearance was successful and that it hadn't gone over the line. But for now, it is Stefan Keller in his first start in the AFC Champions League Elite. In the right time at the right place to get the goal. They might have a quick look at offside as well. I think it was Otavio who was trying to clear it off the line. No, that's in though, isn't it? That is over the line, and it was Kuki, in fact, who'd got back into position to try to clear it after the header down initially from Kardesh. Then on the turn, a swipe from Stefan Keller. clearly over the line. And so it will be 4 for Al Ittihad. And Al Saad's attempted comeback now has mammoth proportions. Well, just while we wait for confirmation of that goal, I can tell you some good news from elsewhere for Al Saad. Just as they concede, so too do their rivals for qualification just a few miles away. It's an opening goal for Tractor, leading against Al Gharafa. And if it stays that way, it means that Al Saad can afford to lose this game and still go through. And it very much looks as though they are going to lose this game now, 4-1 down with 25 minutes to play. But it could be that their luck is in. Tractor doing them a favour. Awad, the recent substitute, committing the foul on Claudinho. And Al Ittihad's task just got a lot easier now. They'll feel more than comfortable with a 3-goal margin, which Al Saad will look to reduce again as soon as possible, preferably now. Afif with the free kick. Bounces down to Sorir on the edge of the area, but he couldn't control cleanly enough. I wonder if Roberto Mancini might be thinking of more changes. He's just made the one so far. That was in the first half. He brought on Anas, who he was chatting to there. Is Claudinho risking getting caught in possession by Fabinho? He is. And there's going to be space here. Al-Shanketi helps it on for Roger. Strong challenge, but it can be picked up by Awad. Fabinho for Mitai. And Al Ittihad will try to play a bit of keep ball now. Just take any sting out of the game. You wonder if the Al Saad players know what is happening in the other game. No doubt many of the fans are on their phones following the action from Al Gharafa's game very closely. Al Gharafa, of course, have to win. They're losing 1-0 now to Tractor. Even a draw would leave Al Gharafa behind Al Saad, who would go through on goal difference ahead of Sharjah, level with 8 points, but a better goal difference. They came in with a goal differential 7 better than Sharjah, so they can afford to lose by 6 here. 7-1 and they'd still be okay, assuming Al Gharafa don't come back. Midway through the second half, is there going to be another twist here, or is this one done now with Al Ittihad resuming their 3-goal lead? Pedro with a risky pass. Anas had to work really hard to avoid losing. He's been outstanding since he came on. And he spreads the pass here, but Afif is offside, much to his disgruntlement. Yeah, and that's a bit lazy from Afif, you have to say. Anas had to work really hard to keep the ball for his team. Afif hadn't bothered to stay on side. And now another attack is on. It's overhit though by Mitai. Feel that right-hand pair for Al Ittihad should be really dangerous. Al Shanketi and Roger between them. Tarek. Soria, who's worked hard in midfield, picks out the pass for Claudinho. On to Tarek. Awad was there to tidy up. And now forward for Awad. He won't be very grateful for the pass from Mitai, and indeed he turned to his teammate and say, "What was that?" He sent it 15 yards ahead of me. Invited me into a challenge from the defender. Just give it to my feet. Stefan, the scorer of the fourth goal for Al Ittihad, his first in the competition. The Cameroonian making his first start today after had a substitute appearance last week. On the ball again now. Already looking very much at home with Al Ittihad. Ashanketi for Roger. It's all a bit easy at the moment for Al Ittihad, the game in the final 20 minutes. And with every minute that ticks away, the chances of an Al Sadd fight back looking more and more remote. Zawad. With that fourth goal that they have scored today, Al Ittihad now the leading scorers in the Champions League Elite. Oh, and here's Elinakeni, but he fouled the defender before running through, the young substitute. I say, Al Ittihad up to 22 goals from their 8 games. One more than Al Ahly, who have 21, obviously. This West region is far more free scoring than the East. The leading scorer on that side of things, Vissel Kobe, 14 after their first 7 games. 8 behind Al Ittihad now, who are having it easy, you have to say. Here's Elinakeni. Challenge coming in from Kuki. Oh, Anas on the ball, wanted too much time. Awad almost won it. He's still fighting hard, but Anas shoves him off and finds Afif, who seems to have permanently moved back to the left now. Wonder whether he's taken that upon himself or if it was an instruction from Roberto Mancini. He's lost the ball here though. Roger spinning and turning away. Al Shanketi as well. Good challenge by Firmino, not giving up on it. Sergio Conceição preparing another change. He's made just the 2 with Awad and Elinakeni coming on. Still no further movement on the bench of the home side, as it's controlled by Afif. Firmino looking for the runner, Otavio, who goes down, no penalty. Now, it looked like a clumsy challenge from Stefan. I think Otavio was looking for it, probably almost going down before there was any contact, and he's probably not helped his case there, because I think the contact was coming there from the arm of Stefan Keller. It will be reviewed. The referee, Araki Yasuke, says no. His VAR assistant Junpai either will be looking at it, but he's still pretty convinced. Firmino trying to convince him otherwise, but Otavio probably going down too easily, and there's no VAR review, and so no penalty. The next change is Roger will leave the field. And the other one to make way is Awar, who got the ball rolling with this strike early on. His 6th of the campaign, the joint leading scorer now. He won't be adding any more today. He's been replaced by Abdulaziz Al-Bishi. Roger making way for Steven Bergwijn. So that's 4 changes now from Al Ittihad. Some fresh energy and immediately another attack. Mitai to Elena Kena, just ahead of him. Broken up, but lost by a tired-looking Soria. A late challenge on Al-Bishi. He's only just come on. He'll get back to his feet now and resume his position on the right flank in place of Roger. Bergwijn is operating in the middle in the spot that Awar was roaming. Well, 16 shots to 12, but 1 goal to 4 the other way. Stats can be misleading. Most of those shots for Al Sadd coming in a frenzy at the end of the first half, when they could have easily scored more than the 1 goal they did get. And they had a flurry of pressure early in the second as well, but since that 4th, it's been very flat. Here's Al-Bishi. Al-Shanketi. It's broken up, and there's Firmino looking for Afif, but not finding him. And Fabinho with a little short, but wins it back second time. But no, picked up again now by Otavio, who's not stopping running. He's leaving a lot of space behind him, though. Look at the right-hand side for Al Ittihad. Fabinho is yelling for it. He wanted it 5 seconds ago. Came too late when Otavio was caught out of possession. Here's Afif with the ball. Up for Soria to pick up. Threaded through. And now controlled by Claudinho. Still Claudinho laying off for Afif. Not sure what that was. Mitai stepping in. And they can break. Bergwijn. Yeah, fouled. Shirt tug from Anas. And one more change will be forthcoming. The last one for the visitors will be Giancarlo Simic entering into the defence in place of Danilo. Simic coming on for his 6th appearance in this season's edition. Serbian who joined Al Ittihad from Anderlecht in August. Now, Al-Bishi caught in possession, but Claudinho can't quite make anything of it in the area. Here's Bergwijn. With a bit more precision, you feel that the 5th goal is there for the taking for Al Ittihad. That's an excellent challenge, though, from the outstanding Anas to win it back. Now, Afif. 4 forward. Mujica looks for the cross to Firmino. It's just beyond him, though. And I have to say, a couple of the Al Sadd players, and maybe in particular the senior players, Firmino and Akram Afif, look like they've maybe given up on this one a bit. Their energy levels have really dropped. Perhaps that's tiredness as well. But Roberto Mancini's team just lacking a spark at the moment. He's going to turn to his bench. Hashim Ali forward, getting ready to come on. Here's Afif. Finds the pass for Mujica. Going for goal. It's a very good try as well. Mujica not far away from it, finding the far corner. Rajkovic just standing and watching. He looked concerned though, didn't he? He wasn't standing and watching because he knew it was going wide, but because he knew he couldn't get there. As we head towards the last 10 minutes, Claudinho fouling Fabinho, 2 Brazilians tangling. Good news for Al Sadd is it's still 1-0 for Tractor. So unless Al Gharafa scored twice in the last 10 minutes there, Al Sadd will be going through anyway, going through with a whimper. You don't want to progress to the knockout rounds by losing 4-1 at home. Quarter finalists last season, Al Sadd. 2-time title winners. As indeed are Al Ittihad. 2 real titans of Asian football here today. Here's Elenikena, the 19-year-old Nigerian, on the run. For the first time we've really seen him with the ball at his feet. Not able to advance far though. Fabinho and Mitai win it back and take control again. Here's Afif inside for Claudinho. Space opening up. He takes on the shot, which is solidly blocked. It's going to run for Firmino. And now Tarek will go back into defence. And I can tell you there is more good news from just a few miles away for Al Sadd, and that is that Al Gharafa have fallen further behind. A 2-goal lead now for Tractor in that one. So it looks very certain that Al Sadd are going to go through despite a crushing defeat at home. Al Gharafa unable to make the most of the opportunity handed them today by Al Sadd's impending loss. This is picked up by Soria. Otavio sending in the cross. Mujica can only get a faint touch and it runs through to Rajkovic. Roberto Mancini's been waiting for a good 2 or 3 minutes to make a triple substitution here, but he can't do so because the ball won't go out of play. In fact, it's a quadruple substitution. He's going to make all his remaining changes in one go when the ball goes out, which it does now. Lumped away by Simic. So wholesale changes with Pedro going off, Roman Saiz coming on. Not often you get a quadruple change. Dilrosun, Hashim and Hanak will be the others to enter. Hashim taking the place of his captain. And it's Mujica. who is replaced by Dilrosun, recent signing. Mojica having scored his team's only goal so far. At the time, they thought that might be the spark for a big comeback. Hasn't been that way at all. So El Hanak, Saiz, Hashim and Dilrosun coming on for the well-beaten hosts. Who would just like to avoid further damage here if they can. Kadesh feeling some pain there. To confirm the four going off for Al Sadd: Pedro, Tarek, Afif and Mojica. That is all 10 substitutions made now, and really the game is just petering out inside the final 5 minutes. The subs will try and make an impact for Al Sadd, as that was headed on by Dilrosun. Not cleared very far. Hashim can pick it up. Claudinho, oh, and it came off the ref, and he will have to give possession back to Al Sadd right on the edge of the area because he broke up that pass from Claudinho. Good defending, actually. Now the cross coming in. There are men in the middle, headed down by Kuki, who's staying up as an auxiliary striker at the moment. Still full of energy, Sergio Conceição getting one over his former teammate today. He and Roberto Mancini spent 2 spectacularly successful seasons together at Lazio around 25 years ago. Both since then gone on their managerial paths. It's Conceição who's comfortably coming out on top. Roberto Mancini will feel, though, only been in charge since November, he's not really had the chance yet to put his full stamp on the team. Here's Hashim, and he will win the corner. A little bit more energy about Al Sadd with the changes. Hashim Ali playing down the left-hand side, 25-year-old. Long-time servant of Al Sadd. Corner, not a very good one. The other substitute who's come on up front, Javier Dilrosun. He's a Dutch international who's just joined from America in Mexico, having previously been on the youth books of both Ajax and Manchester City before playing in Germany with Hertha Berlin, France with Bordeaux, native Holland with Feyenoord, bit of time in the US as well with Los Angeles FC, so he's travelled around, the 27-year-old. Trying to make an impact now. After joining Al Sadd just last week. Here he is, on the ball. Can he get a shot away? He can, and it's not a bad effort from Dilrosun, the debutant. Curling the shot over the crossbar. Had a solitary Netherlands full appearance back in 2018. Hasn't played again since and is now switching to Suriname internationally. Ooh, and there's a late challenge from Awad, who may get himself a late yellow card here. Just a warning. Oh no, it is a yellow. Looked like the referee was going to let him off with a caution, but the card is produced for that challenge on Claudinho. All a bit unnecessary. there on the pitch at this stage of the game. Now, can this be kept in? It is cut back towards Dilrosun, but across from El Hamah, who's just come on down the right-hand side. It was cleared. Firmino. El Hamah. Dilrosun. Substitutes combining. Otavio has support from Hashim outside him. Here's a substitute. Finding the ball for Dilrosun, who's crowded out. And Awad scoops it away, and he was being fouled as well. In the final minute of normal time now, as we look back at the only goal of this half, it was scored on the turn by Stefan Keller after the header down from Hassan Kadesh from the free kick. Kuki on the goal line, desperately trying to clear it, but it was already over the line. And Roberto Mancini was not impressed. The visiting fans were. Al Ittihad with 11 goals in their last 2 games, 7-0 at home, 4-1 away. They're enjoying playing Qatari teams, and they might not be finished yet. Al-Bishi looking for Bergwijn. It's broken up. Into added time now, of which there will be 4 minutes, mainly for the substitutions. Firmino. It's going to be a bittersweet qualification for Al Sadd, as now Hashim tries to help pull one back. Solid numbers in defence. Claudinho. Offside flag, though, will end that move. I say, Al Sadd, in about 3 minutes from now, are going to have to reflect on a heavy home defeat, whilst having news that they've qualified, because Al Gharafa is still 2-0 down. They need 3 goals in stoppage time, as do Al Sadd to claim the draw they need, but it's basically as you were. Al Sadd losing and Al Gharafa losing means there's going to be no change to the standings, and the league phase will conclude with Al Sadd in 8th place. And an attempt here from Hashim, easily dealt with by Rajkovic. Al Ittihad will climb to 4th place above Al Wada. They won't be able to catch Tractor, of course, with the Azerbaijani team winning. And that will set up Al Ittihad against Al Wada in the next round. Al Sadd will have to play Al Hilal. As Danilo very calm in defence. Can they have one last attack? Al-Bishi certainly wants to. He's challenged, though, by Anas, who I think from his efforts will probably be in the starting lineup for Al Sadd in the round of 16. He's been maybe their most impressive player since coming on early in the first half. Dilrosun, and now for the speculative long-range strike. A rather forlorn-looking Firmino letting fly. How different things might have been if his 6th minute goal had counted, if he'd not been marginally offside. Well, he wasn't offside, nor was his captain Akram Afif, who was offside, which meant the opening goal for Al Sadd was just ruled out. 10 minutes later, they were 2 down. If Afif had just been onside rather than off, Al Sadd 1-0 up, could have been a very different game. Won't matter to the classification, as the free kick is given here against Al Shanketi. Tangling with Otavio. Final seconds, the referee has a look at the watch, and that will indeed do it. Al Ittihad advance in style. Al Sadd almost certainly will await confirmation from the Al Gharafa game when that finishes, but it looks very, very likely that despite defeat, Roberto Mancini's men will go through. And just to confirm, that is now full-time. Al Gharafa have lost, so Al Sadd are through despite a heavy defeat. The goal from Rafa Mujica nowhere near enough to cancel out the strikes from Al Ittihad. They had a 3-0 lead. Awar continuing his great run. En-Nesyri a second in 2 games. Then an own goal from Pedro made it 3-0 before Mujica's strike gave Al Sadd some hope before the break. But early in the second half, Stefan Keller made it 4 for Al Ittihad, and that basically killed the game. There was no response from Al Sadd from that moment. So no celebrations from them, despite the fact they're going through to the next stage. They'll have to improve an awful lot to go any further, whereas Al Ittihad are warming up for the knockout stages in fine style. 11 goals in their last 2 games. Watch out for them. They have found top form as they finish this league phase with an outstanding performance. Look at the consoling that Agustin Soria needs. But it's Al Ittihad who can celebrate another win. It finishes Al Sadd 1, Al Ittihad 4.
يلا حلوين حلوين يا زعيم حلوين يا شباب.